Hey everyone, Jarret here from the bands Destroy My Brains and the Ashes of Yggdrasil. I have a new project coming out April 30th, 2021 this year. It's called Discarded Self. It's my solo recording venture where I'm doing all of the stringed instruments and vocals, and I sessioned 4 different drummers to do the drum tracks on the album. There's 9 songs on the album, so there's quite a few different variations of drum parts. Anyways, I'm going to be doing a gear rundown of some of the gear I used on the Discarded Self album. So sit back, dust off your eyeballs. We're going into Gear City here. A lot of people have been really getting into the tracks that I've been sending them from Discarded Self. And they've been messaging me a lot, and they're asking me what kind of gear I was using. They're really digging the tones that I was getting on this new record. So now I'm here in the Doom Tomb recording studio, and I'm gonna run through on how it was all done. I'll be exposing all of my tone secrets, so you can copy my sound and you can totally rip off all of my riffs. It'll be amazing. Just kidding. Don't do that. After I show you guys how it was all done, I'm going to do a guitar, bass, and vocal playthrough of the first song that we released called Orbitoclast. It is featuring Jaden Pollock from my other band Destroy My Brains on the drums. He's a killer drummer. So let's start off with guitars and amplifiers.
Step back, reject, drink that, no help. So
first off, you can see here that I have 2 amplifiers, 2 cabs. I use an ABY pedal, and I'm playing through both of these amps at the same time during the whole album. Here's the ABY pedal. This is called Radial Bigshot. It's a great ABY pedal. So first off, I'll let you know that I play through 2 amplifiers at once. I have an old 73 Model T, an OG Model T, and also I have a new custom Blackout amplifier that's a cross between a Soldano Super Lead Overdrive and the Blackhawk model, the Loki. We called it the Slowkey, and it's dope. Check it out. So here's a shot of the amplifiers. That's the Blackhawk, Slowkey we call it, and my old 73 Model T. The cabs that I was running was Marshall 1960 cab, Slant cab, and it has both Eminence Governors and Celestian V30s in an X pattern in that cab. And under the Blackhawk, I have a Mesa Oversized cab, and it has V30s. So, I might as well tell you guys a bit about how I recorded these rigs. I do a version of quad tracking, where I play both amps at once with the ABY pedal. And I record 2 different playthroughs of the song, start to finish. If there's any mistakes, I do a full take again. It's just one complete playthrough with no edits or anything like that. One of the first playthrough that I do, I take my mics on my cabs here, and I put them dead center of the cone on both the cabs. So SM57 on the V30 on the Mesa cab, dead center of the cone, and on the Marshall cab, dead center of the cone, and I use the Eminence Governor speaker rather than the V30 on that cab. And I record 1 full playthrough like that, and then after that's complete and I'm totally happy with what I've done, I pull my mics over off center, and that gives the tone, the recorded tone, a little bit more of a darker sound. So I move them over probably 1.5 inches, 2 inches away from the center cap, and then have them the same distance away from the speaker as the last take. So when I'm playing through the microphones, when they're in the bright position, which is the center position, I'm using my Ibanez DT250 Destroyer guitar. It's an old 84 guitar, and I just love the neck on it. I call it the Red Bastard. Trademark. It fucking rips. And when I switch the mic over to the dark position, which is the off-center position, I use my custom guitar that I had built from Goliath guitars. It's called the Butcher. And it is loaded up with a Seymour Duncan slug pickup. I also like to say that the guitar tones that I have on the album don't have any processing. Only EQ, where I do a little bit of reductive EQ to get rid of some of the hiss that you get from using lots of pedals and stuff like that. So all the tones that you hear on the album are basically raw guitar, amp, and pedals. No compression or anything is added in my DAW. And I can't stress this enough to you guys who are at home recording. Mic positioning. Don't just slap a mic in front of the thing and then record your song and think it's going to be good. It's going to sound like shit. You're going to want to sit there and you're going to want to play through your song, listen to what you recorded, and if you don't like your tone, you might only need to move your mic a couple millimeters and it'll make a world of difference. Or you might need to only adjust the volume on your amplifier just a hair, just to get a little bit more or a little bit less speaker movement. Really experiment with your tones, and if you do that, you are going to have a much stronger result in the end. Great mic placement is key! Anyways, on to my favorite part. Guitar pedals. Here we go, effects pedals. So yeah, I know you guys don't know this, but I gotta say it. I got a real problem with buying guitar pedals. I got like, I don't know, probably about 100 of the things. But on this album, I've narrowed it down. I just use overdrive, distortion, fuzz, and delay. And I also have a tuner pedal, a Boss tuner pedal, which actually gives me about 95% of my tone. Just kidding. I don't use that. I never fucking tune up. Okay, moving on. So this is where the chain basically starts. There's my Radial Bigshot pedal, the ABY pedal. I run straight into that thing. And then after that, my chain breaks into two separate pedal chains that go to each amplifier. Some people put the ABY pedal at the end, and that way they can have only one pedal chain, and then it splits off at the end to go to the two amplifiers. But I put it in the start, so it goes ABY pedal, then a pedal chain, and then that goes to one amplifier, and then I have another pedal chain, and it goes to another amplifier. And that's how I run my rig. That way you can get two totally separate distortion sounds, and you can really, really customize your tone that way. So first, we'll talk about the chain that goes into my Blackhawk amp. First off, I have an Aries Effects Savage Drive. The Savage Drive is a very clean overdrive that doesn't really color your sound very much. It is fucking beautiful. Amazing overdrive pedal. I have like 5 of the things. I have one on every single board. I can't get enough of that pedal. It's amazing. That runs into the Frost Giant Electronics, the Mountain pedal. The Mountain is a Rat variant, and I'm absolutely in love with this pedal. I use it on everything. I use it in all my bands. I use it on guitar. I use it on bass. I even stick it in my mouth sometimes and use it on vocals. If you can guess what song I use it on for my vocals, I'll give you $100. And finally, it goes into a Boss Digital Delay 3, a DD3 pedal, and I only kick that in just for like lead sections or intro sections as well that need a little bit more ambience. And that's all I use the delay pedal for. And next, we are going to talk about the pedal chain that runs into the Model T amp. Again, I have another Savage drive, Aries Effects Savage drive, that runs into a Blackout Effectors Musket Fuzz. The Musket is one of the best big muff variants I've ever come across. It can go from full-blown strangled ass crack fuzz to almost barely there light and fluffy fuzz. I like to tune it so that it sounds tight and chunky with a slight buzz behind it. And with the Aries effects in the front of it, it does just that. And finally, at the end of the chain, I have another Boss digital delay pedal, the DD8. I just got it. It's a delay. It repeats things. I use it for leads. Enough said. So yeah, that's about all I use for my 6-string electric guitar tones. So let's talk about the fat string, the bass. See what a field of trees full of hanging politicians looks like. I went very simple on this album as far as the bass goes. It's just straight to the point. I use both a DI track and also an amp track. The DI track goes into a dark glass B7K microtubes pedal, and that goes straight into the DAW. And then the amp track was recorded with an Ampeg SVT amp, SVT Classic, with the matching 8x10 cab. And I use a Shure kick drum microphone. I'm not quite sure the model. It's the Shure kick drum mic anyway. I played the bass on 2 different bass guitars. I used my Fender jazz bass and my 84 Ibanez Roadstar that I picked up recently, and I'm just in love with that. I used the jazz bass on the DI track, and I used the Ibanez on the amp track. So yeah, that's basically how I got all of my tones out on my album. Fat and chunky, heavy chugs, thick bass. The album comes out April 30th, 2021 on Sarcophagus Recordings. Be sure to pick up a copy of that, and also grab a fucking shirt. Discarded Self shirt. If you buy one of my shirts from my Bandcamp, you also get a free download of the album, so that's an easy way to get an album and a shirt. It's cold out. It's winter time. Okay, without further ado, I'm going to suit up and do a playthrough of my song Orbitoclast. It's mostly just going to be headbanging, drinking beer. I might hit a couple correct notes along the way, and there's going to be a lot of screaming. Get it?
is a sad, despairing mood, which is the real core of all depressions. Depressions which will have to be recognized and treated like other clinical syndromes. Nothing we do for our patient will help him. He may get worse, and there's always the danger of suicide. Nothing we do for our patient will help him. He may get worse, and there's always the danger of suicide. Nothing we do for our patient will help